Oh, we're green.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for Springfield Township. As is our practice, we begin our meeting with a pledge of allegiance, and I ask you to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Price, will you call the roll?
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Here.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mr. DeLauro?
Here.
Before we get into the items of business, we have an important announcement about the development of the drone program by our police department. Chief, do you want to take it from here?
First of all, thank you for being here tonight. I want to introduce our Board of Trustees. That's Mr. DeLauro, Mr. Young, Ms. Chapman, and then the two people that run everything is Patty Price, Leanne Jasko over there, Mr. Weinsheimer, he's administrative assistant to the Board of Trustees, functions as the Township Administrator, and then Ms. Groh over there, she's our Township Zoning Administrator. So, yeah, just want to take a few minutes. Officer Clapp's going to come up here in a second. Ty came to me a few months ago because he wanted to start a drone program. So we kind of gave him a protocol of what he needed to do to get that done and then to fundraise it. Police department, we have a limited budget. All our funding comes from 2 levies that we pass, which is enough to keep our department up and running, but extras like this, we can't do those with our current budget. So Officer Clapp came up to me. He had a plan and a plan to fundraise for the drone program. So did a great job. It took him a few months. Him and Ms. Chapman got together, did some fundraising, raised about $24,000. But we had some significant people that really added to the program that made it possible. Mr. George is here today, and Phil George and his brother Fred George. If you can come up here real quick. Now you can come over. I just want to thank you for your contribution to this program. We have a small token just for recognizing you for what you did. Officer Clapp, while you're up here, is going to explain what he did with the drone program and how your donations benefited this program, why it made it happen.
Thank you.
So we were just a little bit short on the fundraiser, raising the money this year, and Mr. George here, he basically donated the rest of the money to help purchase the drone, which hopefully within the next month or so we will be buying. So going to be using it to locate missing persons, warrants, runaways, missing adults with dementia, and robbery suspects if they run into the woods. So that's the whole plan with that. And I want to thank you again.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you, really.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we get our picture with you?
Absolutely.
You mind?
Sure.
Thank you. Want to come up front? We did do a recognition 2 weeks ago. Mr. George wasn't available to come, so since he's here tonight, we wanted to recognize him for his contributions. So thank you. You want to come up front here?
Yeah.
Does the board want to come up here?
Sure.
Sure.
Joe, get back in there.
Oh, we got one more. One more, okay. Oh, really? That's what she said. She said she was like us. She was too. I hope by that time.
How's Phil doing?
It's all good. He was working on Chick-fil-A up in Copley.
So he knows he's on camera.
Smile. Keeps over laughing. Well, sure, it was one of you guys, police chief.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Have him come out anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, Phil, really, he can come out anytime. Just call me.
Okay, we will dive into our business at hand, and I think initially, Mr. DeLauro, you have some matters.
Okay, yes. I move to dispense with reading of the minutes and approve the minutes to date.
I second it.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman? Yes. Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. I move to approve payment of bills and payroll as prepared by the fiscal officer, subject to audit.
I second that.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. I move to acknowledge receipt of the fiscal officer's October and November 2023 reports, subject to audit.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. And I move to authorize a letter to be sent to the county engineer requesting assistance with the installment of the Sawyerwood detention ponds as designed by EnviroScience.
That will be amended to say retention.
Yeah. Okay.
And we are requesting not only the installation, but the cost, correct?
Yes, requesting, I think, yes, our letter says that specifically. If not,
I would say requesting assistance with the cost of installation of the retention ponds, yes.
We want them to pay it all in our part.
Hmm?
We want them to pay it all in our part.
well, I thought that the way the letter was to be drafted, it would indicate that we're requesting that it be a part of the stormwater management.
District.
So really, the cost would be paid through the stormwater management program. Is that letter clear enough to say that? Pardon me? Okay. So it's, requesting that the installation of the Sawyerwood retention ponds as designed by, be a part of the Summit County Stormwater Management. If that's the intent of the motion, we will see that our minutes reflect that.
So you're adding and to be a part of stormwater management?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that the letter is to that effect.
And did you second that?
I would second that motion.
There you go.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. And I move to approve the attached resolution to proceed with a 1.5 mil replacement tax levy in excess of the 10 mil limitation for the purpose of the general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, and repair of streets, roads, and bridges upon the entire territory of Springfield Township.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman, you have a couple matters.
I move to remove Officer Jonathan McKenzie from full-time probation effective 12/12/23.
Upon recommendation of our chief,
Yeah, Officer McKenzie does a nice job. Don't see much of him because he's been on night shift for the past year, but really a nice young man. He's a nice officer, a really good asset to our police department.
okay,
So we're happy that he's through his probation period now.
I would second the motion.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
I move to approve the attached resolution to proceed with the 1.25 mil replacement tax levy in excess of the 10 mil limitation for the purpose of providing and maintaining motor vehicles, communications, other equipment, buildings, and sites for such buildings used directly in the operation of a police department, for the payment of salaries of permanent or part-time police, communications, or administrative personnel to operate the same, including the payment of any employer contributions required for such personnel under Section 145.48 or 742.33 of the revised code, for the payment of the costs incurred by townships as a result of contracts made with other political subdivisions in order to obtain police protection for the provision of ambulance or emergency medical services operated by a police department, or for the payment of other related costs upon the entire territory of Springfield Township. Okay.
Who drafted that?
It's legal. Ohio Revised Code.
The state legislature made us say all that.
Do we have a second?
I'm thinking. No. Obviously, I second that one.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Next, I have a couple motions that deal with our zoning department. I would move to renew Michelle Moyer's term on the Board of Zoning Appeals, which would run until December 31, 2028.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Next, I move to renew Jerry Michael's term on the Zoning Commission, which will continue until December 31, 2028. I'm not sure where I'm going to be in 2028, but I hope to see him on the board.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Okay, are there announcements that the members of the board want to make? I want to say that we have the pleasure of having representatives from the Springfield Township Women's Club, an important part of our community, who's been contributed in many ways. Lee Swartz and Jane Sayer are here. We always give you the opportunity to make a speech if you'd like, and you don't have to. Oh, no time?
No time.
Okay.
Well, we do want to thank you for the beautiful light-up sign on the lakefront that you donated. It's beautiful.
And Lee reminds me that Spartan Bingo continues to be alive Monday nights, starting at 5. Are there other announcements?
And Mr. Young, I'd like to say that the Women's Club donates every year several gifts that our officers deliver to seniors. They drop those off, so we'll be starting to deliver those gifts to our senior citizens in the township starting this weekend. So thank you for that donation. It's a great gesture that you guys do that every year.
We would urge members of the community that are looking for volunteer opportunities. The Women's Club really has been instrumental in good things. So you're eager to have more members.
Oh, yes, always, always.
Any other announcements? Okay.
Yes, for Spectrum Community Channel 1023, the Springfield Lakemore Community Channel is proud to serve our community by providing access to the government meetings as well as programming and information of community events. Tune in to local Spectrum Channel 1023 for a selection of recent programming. To view our current program schedule, tune in to the channel or go online at springfieldtownship.us. We're excited to announce that the trustees meetings are now broadcasted live on Channel 1023, and community members may also access all current and past programming on demand via the new YouTube channel. Find it by searching Springfield Lakemore Community Channel on YouTube. Even more information is available from us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and our blog. Please let us know of any events or activities in Lakemore and Springfield communities that you would like to see on the community channel. Remember, it is your channel, so please let us know how we can best serve you. Contact your local government officials who will let you know. We'll let the channel know of anything that you're interested in. And then first, they would like to thank, me, I guess, for helping, supporting, giving these announcements and promoting the community channel. Thank you, Frank, Jim, Dean, Brian, and Carolyn, your Spectrum Community Channel 1023 team. The following programs are currently running on the channel. The Springfield Board of Education meeting from November 21st, the Village of Lakemore Winter Holiday Program from November 25th, the Springfield Trustees meeting from November 30th, the Springfield Township Winter Holiday Program from December 1st, and the December 4th Lakemore Council meeting. Tune in for that programming. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Anybody else here that has an announcement that they want to make? Is there anybody else, is there anybody here who wants to address us on any issue? Jerry?
I just got to ask, the retention pond, where is that going to be installed at?
Come to the, so
Jerry Hallman, I just have to ask where the retention pond is going to be installed at.
okay, we have, as a result of studies that have been done of Springfield Lake, the engineers and experts have indicated that a considerable amount of stormwater comes off of the higher elevations to the north of us in the areas of the trails.
Okay.
And that it has been recommended that retention ponds would help to slow the water, filter, and if there is any contamination that comes from defective on-site septic, we want to try to prevent it from getting to the lake.
Right.
And so they proposed some retention ponds that would be located on the north side of that, what you call access road. On maps, a lot of times there's written no-name road that basically they put in once the 224 came in and cut off the access to the lake by the trails. It would be in that general area.
Okay. So on this, on
Yeah.
the south?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you say on the south of the ends of the trails, Seneca, Onondaga.
Yes. So is it going to affect any of the roads then, or?
It would not affect, it would not. Yeah.
It'll actually be it'll be north of the service road. There's some empty properties there.
Okay.
So it'll be built into those empty properties. It'll be
Okay.
three different.
And
three sections.
who maintains that after that's?
Well, that's part of the study that we're looking carefully at it. We're concerned about the expense. We want, the letter to the county engineer, who now supervises a stormwater management program that is at its infancy. We're asking that he take a look at that as a part of the stormwater management program.
Okay.
So a direct answer is yet to be decided.
Okay. That's fair enough. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. And one other thing, with your replacement levy for the roads, so I hope it goes through, but so where would you start at? Do you have a plan if that goes through, if you get that money, where would you start at? What neighborhoods, have you done an assessment,
Yeah.
starting with the worst or the best, you know what I mean?
I start every year, we roughly are doing $450,000 every year. Pretty much this levy supports all of the repairs that we do to the roads.
Sure.
Without this levy, we wouldn't be able to do that. We want to up those numbers. We actually utilize, it's a spreadsheet that was designed before I got here. We look at all the oldest roads first. Then, once we go and determine what they need, process that they need, treatment on the roads that need to be done, we may massage in a few other roads and take some out, because the roads, we have so many roads that are so bad that if you
Yes.
hit all the oldest roads first, you would never get anything cut. So you have to kind of work it and massage it in, so that's really what we do.
So it says here, like resurface, repair, or even reconstruct, and you're gonna
Yes.
do whatever it takes.
Yes.
'Cause I know there's a lot of roads that my neighborhood that are beyond patching, you know, they
Exactly.
need ground resurface.
Those roads just started, believe it or not, hitting my list this year.
Yeah,
And the last time most of those roads were done were in 2005 and 9.
so when you say done, how are they redone? How are they?
I would have to look at the spreadsheet, could have been 422 chip seals back
That's what-
then.
okay, that's what I was
Or
getting
it
at.
could have been a 405.
Okay.
Typically, most of our roads are 405 and chip seals.
Okay,
So it's one of the two
right.
processes.
I'm sure there's other roads, I
Yeah.
mean, around the township, you know, that's not, okay, all right, I
Well,
appreciate
how
it.
many miles of roads do we have?
So we have a little over 70 road miles, which equates to approximately 140 lane miles. And we currently are only fixing roughly, like this year's plan is 3.7 miles
I see,
at 440,000 estimated.
okay,
I mean,
Coming up for
it's,
2024.
sure, yeah,
So, and that's looking at roads that are that old.
okay. All right, very good, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I want,
Thank
thank you.
anybody else? If not, we have a couple matters which will require an executive session, specifically some personnel matters. The legislature makes me comply with the law and to state what we're intending to consider, and so I'm going to move that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee, or other terms and conditions of their employment, and as to another matter, to consider the purchase of property for public purpose.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
The one thing that I think will come out of the meeting is we'll be setting another executive session.
I'll have to advertise that anyhow.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's, I don't think we have to do a motion for that, I just have to,
you'll just
I'll just have to advertise it, yeah.
We'll instruct you as to the timetable.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you all. It's been exciting. We'll do it again sometime.